Hi everyone, welcome to day 13 of our 31 Days to Splits challenge. I definitely recommend warming up. Today we are adding our pose for day 13 is a supported Hanumanasana, which is a supported split. So definitely get the body moving a little bit here before we jump into the poses, but once you've done that, we'll get right into it. So knees are soft, belly is in. Let's take the hands behind us, pull back, squeeze the elbows and shoulder blades, lift your heart, hinging forward, come into your forward fold, reach your arms away from the body, lifting the shoulders up, rooting down through your feet, letting your head hang, drawing the shoulders away from your neck, pressing into your feet, lifting the tailbone, pressing your thighs back. Just start to notice how you're feeling today, day number 13. Hopefully you're enjoying the consistency of an everyday practice. Good, let your arms release down towards the floor. Good, soften your knees and let's roll up the spine. Good, I was just making sure the video was going. Okay, so coming down into a table shape. So coming into your table, wrists underneath of shoulders, knees under hips, pull those shoulders back, extend your right leg back behind you. We'll draw the knee in, step your foot between your hands, jumping right into our low lunge, maybe taking a couple rocks back and forth. Good, and then settling in, letting your hips melt forward, pulling your right hip back, reaching through the crown of your head. Softening your shoulders, breathing. Just allowing yourself to notice, to feel. It's a really heavy, sluggish day here in this town, this area. We're all experiencing maybe a little heaviness with the time change, the darkness, a little sluggish. So just notice, has that impacted you in any way today? Are you feeling that as well? How can you alter or change your practice to help balance out what's going on in our environment, out in nature? Good, let's sink the hips back. Flex your foot, feel your right hip draw back. The heart reaches forward as the hip pulls back. We're softening our eyelids, unclenching the jaw. Pull your navel in, pull your toes back towards your torso. Keeping your hips square, breathing here. Nice full breaths. Noticing. Good. Let's shift our weight forward once again. Back toes curl under. Slide the foot in, straighten out the front leg. Pyramid pose, again, lifting up out of your shoulders, pulling them back, reaching your heart forward. The navel is drawn in and our right hips are shifting back. So squaring up. Breathing. Slow, full breaths in and out through your nose. Let the elbows bend. Bring your forehead down to your knee. Lift the shoulders up. Keep shifting your left hip forward. Good, then I'm going to soften that knee, step my feet forward and roll up the spine. So really feel your whole front body opening up As you stack your vertebrae, reach the arms out and up. And then leading with your heart, come back to your forward fold. We'll step back to downward facing dog, and then back down to our knees for our second side. Left leg back, bring the foot in. Let your hips melt forward. Again, really feel your right hip shifting forward, the left hip shifting back. Pull your navel in, pull the shoulders back with the heart. Remembering to breathe. Inhaling to lengthen your spine. And exhaling to soften the hips just a bit further forward. Making sure you're not really squeezing the arms here. We're just using those blocks to create a little length and height in the spine. We don't want to collapse here or use them to support us, so really lifting up, rolling the shoulders back. Good, melt your hips back. Left foot flexes, right hip moves forward, the belly draws in, your heart reaches forward, driving down through the heel. Again, feeling that length in your spine. Be softening your eyelids, relaxing your jaw. Slow, even breaths, noticing how you've arrived today. Again, how does that time change, the darkness that you may have felt this morning, did that set the tone for your day? Did you do anything to balance it out? To embrace the light early in the morning. So we'll shift the hips forward, draw that foot in, straighten the front leg, and again, feel those hips rotate right towards the top of the mat. The shoulders are back, heart is forward. Keeping my spine as long as I can, drawing the lowest rib cage up so that I'm really firming up the core. Good, soften the elbows. Let's round. As you round, you lift the shoulders, feel the right hip press forward, pull your navel in. Breathing. And then again, soften, stepping forward. Let's roll up our spines. Stretching the arms out and up, and hands head down to our hearts. Good. We'll come down and do exercise 5 before we jump into our supported splits. So reach the right leg up, left leg long. Again, noticing today if you want to let your leg float out to the side, or perhaps over to the other side, really get into the IT band. Please feel free. Stretching through your heel, rooting down. Good, set that foot down. Draw it in. Again, holding the poses for 30 seconds to a minute on each side. I'm gonna let that left leg float open, keeping my right hip down, and then come back through center, across the body just a bit, lengthening through the heel, coming back to center, still reaching. And then I'm gonna bend both knees, hug them into my chest, and rock on up. Coming back to table, I'm gonna start my splits from that shape grabbing a block. So depending on your hips, you might need 1 or 2 blocks. We'll start with the block up nice and tall. So stepping your foot forward, placing the block nice at a high height here. I'm gonna start to slide my right heel forward, my left knee back, and just let that block rest somewhere on the back of your hamstring. Now, you might come up here and say, okay, this feels okay. I'm able to come up nice and tall, squaring up my hips, or perhaps I could come down, bring that block a little bit lower. How does that feel? Can I still press my left hip forward, send the right hip back? Can I really focus on squaring up the hips, letting my torso stay up nice and tall? The shoulders are back. The heart is lifting. So same shape in our upper body that we've been focusing on in our other shapes. And maybe you're here, maybe this feels good, maybe a little bit lower. Now, of course, listen to your body. Go where it feels good for you today. We're not even halfway through the month yet, so honor where you are right now. And you might choose to stay here a little bit longer. But when you're ready, we'll hinge forward and then lift up to pull your right heel back, and then sink the hips forward. And then I'm just gonna slide that leg back. Maybe curl the toes under, lift to downward facing dog, pedal it out if that feels good, and then back to your knees. We'll do the same thing. I'm gonna step my left foot forward, and always just start with it nice and tall. One side might feel very different than the other. So shifting that heel forward, your hips are square, and you can always use multiple blocks. So it might feel nice to have another one to be up a little bit higher, but again, I'm focusing on squaring up my hips, elongating the torso, feeling the body kind of settle in. So my shoulders aren't tensed up. I'm allowing myself to get heavier. I'm gonna go ahead and lower this just a bit. Again, pressing my right hip forward to square them up. The top of my right foot is on the floor, and my front foot is flexed. Shoulders are back. Heart is lifted, belly is drawn in. And breathing here. Noticing as you hold the shape how your body kind of shifts and changes. And then when you are ready again, hinging forward, pressing up so that you can slide that heel back. Soften the knee, and then bring the other knee back to meet it. Good. So I definitely recommend here at this point continuing to stretch, to move your body. But that's it for today. Poses 1 through 5 and number 13 are supported splits. I will see you again tomorrow. Enjoy your day, and namaste. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.